Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist, and today we are getting messages from your heart to help you to get lost in the right direction. I do want to start this off with a little bit of a trigger warning. Some of this may get emotional, it may get hard to hear. These are messages that come from a higher perspective of pains that you have suffered, of pains that you're feeling in your heart, things that you're feeling that you may not be able to put a name or kind of identifying a location to within your life, within yourself. The deep-seated fears and wounds that we carry around. And I did get a firm sense that some of this could be highly emotional. So if you do feel emotionally triggered, if this is not the right time, I encourage you to come back when you feel prepared and take your time with this. Let yourself sit and hear and feel into the messages. I also encourage you strongly to use your discernment in this situation, as these are readings for a big collective of people, and please do not try to make something fit that genuinely doesn't fit. I do not want you taking on any additional baggage or pain or wounds that are not yours to carry. I want to start this video with an intention. And I would like you guys to take a deep breath with me. I would like to set the intention to welcome Spirit, to receive messages, to help bring clarity, to help bring from the shadows into the light the things we struggle to see, the things that make us feel lost, directionless, and without a compass. I ask for truth and clarity and the healing waters upon myself and upon my collective, upon any who may come across this reading. And I set the intention for this reading to reach all who it is meant to, in the time it is meant. Spirit, we put our trust in you and in your love and your guidance today. Thank you. So I've had this get lost in the right direction up on my wall for years. It wasn't until 2020 when I had my second very overwhelming spiritual awakening, ascension, just the next big step on my spiritual journey, we'll say, that I started looking at it, genuinely looking at this. I've had all these positive affirmations on my wall for years, and I pass by them, I sleep under them, I wake up and see them, and I've never really allowed them in. And this one has been one that I keep looking at, and I tend to look at it when I feel the absolute most lost. When I am doing things that I know I love, but I can't see the path forward, and for a diviner and for someone who has premonitions, that's really difficult for me. It is very difficult for me to not be able to divine my own path forward, to have to walk blindly in complete and utter faith and trust. It is difficult. I tend to be a control freak at times. And Spirit and I have had our own interactions. I'm hearing butting heads. Yes, we have definitely butted heads. Thank you, Spirit. And of course, those aren't moments I am overly proud of, but those are the moments that break me down to being able to see the pain. When I get angry, when I lash out, when I get frustrated, when I don't know and can't see and don't understand, it is in those moments that I find myself falling back to Spirit every single time. It's in the moments that I say, I will never do this again. I am done with this path. I am done with this journey. It is in those moments that something inside of me rises up and says, no, you are not giving up. You have dreams. You have a purpose. Find it. Go for it. Don't back down. Don't give up. Just keep going. It is in those moments that I look to this picture, this get lost in the right direction. And I think if I'm going to be lost, at least let it be leading me where I'm meant to. Today we're going to go over what it is that you feel within you that is keeping you from getting lost in the right direction, but is just making you feel lost. So we have 3 piles today. We have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And I would like you to take some time, really tap into your intuition, ask your guides, ask Spirit, what messages do I need today? What am I ready for? What do I need to hear? Help me find my way. And allow yourself to be guided. And I will see you guys at your piles. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the first stone, all the stones are rose quartz, but this one, this is an interesting one. So I'm going to move it up a little bit closer. Hopefully you can see it. Maybe. There we go. So you can see all these chips and cracks. It isn't completely broken. It's not completely cracked, but it is chipped and it is cracked. Almost as if it was split down the middle and then fused back together. And as soon as I touched it, I kept hearing spread too thin. And then the song, there's actually a song, Spread Too Thin by the Dirty Heads, that came into my head, and I started listening to it while I was getting prepared for your pile. And directly afterwards, I heard You Can't Rush Your Healing, which is also a song by Trevor Hall. So I wrote those down for you. And as I was listening, I was being shown and told different essential oils, different candle scents, different herbs that you can work with, or different items you can work with right now to really help with what you're feeling, help with what you're going through, and help after this pile. So the first one is lavender, and lavender is a very soothing, very calming, but what I heard was clearing mental clutter. And for me, I guess I've never really thought of lavender that way, but because of that soothing, calming effect that it has, I can see how it would really genuinely help clear that out. And then there was citrus fruits, so lemon, grapefruit, lime, orange. Those are always my favorite. They both do cleansing of the energy, but they are also very uplifting, and they always lift my spirits and really elevate how I'm feeling when I'm going through a difficult time. The third one is tea tree, and I'm not going to lie, I literally had to look this one up because I had no idea. It's tea tree oil, or melaleuca oil is a great one to use for strength, for balancing your energies, and for helping remove any blockages within your chakra system. And then there is vetiver. And again, I had to look this one up. I've heard of it. I know my daughter uses it when she makes candles, but I was not aware of exactly what the properties were or how they help. So vetiver is great for anxiety, stress, fatigue, and insomnia. And after I looked up vetiver, which is actually the first thing that I looked up, that spread too thin made a lot more sense to me. So I'm going to put this over here for you so that you guys can see it. So this is the Book of Shadows, and it's as above, so below deck. So this is going to tell you what your heart chakra and your higher self and spirit, essentially what they really want you to see from a higher perspective. And this is the so below portion, and this is going to be ways that you can put it into action, or the way it's manifesting in your life. For you, it's the way that you're perceiving it is what I'm feeling, the way that you're perceiving it without fully understanding. So let's take a look at the cards. So we have the Two of Earth, which would be the Two of Pentacles. And we also have the Queen of Chalices, or the Queen of Cups. Okay. So this Two of Earth card, it talks about the ebbs and flows of the ocean and of water, and how the tides rise and they come in, and as they go back out, they leave behind all these little treasures in little pools. And you can see these gnomes, they are out there, they're waiting and looking for the little treasures left behind, because they know now that the tides have gone out. And this is like your emotions right now. It's like you feel like you've been on a beach and been battered by just horrendous waves, just beat at you, as though you were caught in a hurricane that you couldn't get out of, and you couldn't find the eye of the storm, so you couldn't find the calm. You were in the thick of it, just being beat down by wave after wave after wave of stress and anxiety, and this going wrong and that going wrong, and emotions, and you're supposed to be the strong one, and you don't know how to be the strong one anymore. And that's okay. That's okay. Because there is an ebb and a flow to everything. Just as there are cycles of the moon, the tides come in and they can make you feel like you're drowning, but you're never drowning. You're never drowning. And the tides will go back out, and everything will be washed clean and clear. What I'm getting from the Queen of Chalices, and especially with this picture, is kind of a mix of messages. Some of you may have been very hyper emotional lately and feeling very guilty for having your emotions. Simultaneously, some of you may be running from your emotions, and you do need to get in touch with them. You need to let yourself cry and let it out, and trust in someone. This is like the king and the queen sitting together, and he's supporting her, but she's having her emotions. And it looks like she has a letter that has truly upset her. But if you look, you can literally see an air elemental comforting her. You can see her husband sitting there comforting her. There is comfort to be found in sharing and expressing your emotions and allowing yourself to feel your emotions. You open yourself up to allow for comfort to come in. When you bottle it up and bottle it up, you actually create these barriers and these walls and these blockages. Essentially, it's not a real blockage. It's you barricading your heart away because you don't want to get hurt again. And when you do that, the more you barricade your heart, the more you exhaust your mind and you exhaust your soul and your body, because you're not allowing yourself to truly feel anything in the moment, at any moment. And whatever it was, whether it was news, whether it was the loss of someone or something, I apologize, guys. Maybe it was the loss of your voice. You felt like you couldn't speak your truth, and it just utterly destroyed you. As though someone came in, swooped in, and took away your sense of self and voice and truth, and put you into a place of silence and spirit. What I'm hearing is there's only one person who can do that to you, and that's you. No one's going to silence you except for you. Whatever it was that hit, whatever loss, and I can feel it. I can feel it like this sick, churning feeling in my stomach and weight on my chest and shoulders, and it's like I can't breathe and I can't move and I can't function because nothing makes sense. That's what I feel from your pile right now. And it's so hard to remember that there is a time and a season for everything. It's hard to see that the sun is going to come back out because you're in the thick of it. When you let yourself feel these emotions, what you do is you actually open yourself up to discovering the hidden gifts within. But it doesn't mean that what you went through wasn't difficult. It doesn't mean that what you're dealing with and what you're feeling isn't right. I will never be the person that says, don't feel that. That's not the right way to feel. You've got to be this way. You've got to be cheery. You've got to be happy. I'm realistic. In the real world, in the world that we live in this world, in this life, when you have an emotion, when you go through something, let yourself feel. Because you can't ever fully pick yourself up until you allow those emotions out. Because then they just fester and they get repressed and they just sit there and build and build and build. And they turn into shadows and they turn into anger and they turn into fear and worry and doubt. So let yourself cry. Whatever loss, whatever hardship, let yourself cry. Spirit, do we have any other messages for pile 1 with the tarot? We've got the Knight of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. Some of this may be tied to money, and of course I had heard a message and I didn't want to think it. Some of you may have lost a house recently. If that's the case, I am incredibly, incredibly sorry. I definitely understand. You may have or lost your sense of home, lost your sense of self, but I saw foreclosure in my head. And some of you may be struggling financially, or I know the Knight of Pentacles is always about finances, or usually about finances, but to me, he reminds me of Johnny Appleseed. Especially in this deck, he reminds me of Johnny Appleseed because he's walking through and he's scattering his seeds, but he's doing it at a very leisurely pace. He's allowing it to take the time that it needs to take. because as he moves this slowly, then the seeds that he scatters go further and grow longer. And you have to go through a whole process to get to the Knight of Pentacles. But it can be an incredibly challenging and incredibly scary process when you've planted all these seeds and you just don't see them coming up. And you feel like you took this massive gamble in your life and it's just not paying off. And you don't know what to do because you don't want to quit. You don't want to give up. You don't want to walk away. You don't want to lose everything that matters to you. The Wheel of Fortune talks about destiny and fate, luck and chances, and karma and a return. But in this deck, this card, it's saying that you really have been doubting yourself, and it's causing so much inner stress and anxiety that you're not able to sleep, and you're barely eating, and you don't know which way is up, and everything just seems very off, like off center, off balance, or as though you're on this spinning merry-go-round. I'm seeing a merry-go-round, like, you know, the older ones where they had the bars that you held on to, and you're spinning on this merry-go-round, and you're feeling sick to your stomach because everything just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and you're too small to stop it. And Spirit wants you to know that you're not too small. You're not too weak. You're not incapable. I just heard stupid. Some of you may be calling yourselves stupid for certain things. You're not any of those things. It takes a great deal of bravery to take a chance on yourself, to take a risk, to put your heart into something, to hope with all of your heart. I was going to say hold on to hope, but no, you didn't even hold on to it. You just were it. You embodied it. And something just didn't work or didn't pan out. But what I'm seeing over here is there's an ebb and a flow, and things have to flow in and wash stuff away so that when it flows back out, all of that torrential waves wash out for you to see what has actually taken root. Oh, sorry, I just suddenly got the hiccups. Spirit, what guidance can we give pile 1 moving forward? I have a lot of pressure above my eyebrows. Have you guys been having a lot of tension headaches? You may need a salt bath or a warm bath. Use a warm compress, something. But it's kind of like I just had this band of pressure go through, and all of a sudden I was squinting my eyes and I couldn't. Oh, okay. All right, we've got 52 straddling words wandering between realms. The reason why I didn't finish is because this came out. The number 19, falling angel and spiritual narcolepsy. And then we have the number 7, covenant and sacred contract. Okay. And with this covenant and sacred contract, okay. Do you feel like your gifts don't work? Do you feel like the things that you hope for never come through, or suddenly it's like everything is different, and you don't recognize the world. You don't, like, you woke up and all of a sudden the world is just not the world you were living in before, and there's this like almost panic feeling that I feel right now. Like nothing makes sense, and everything just seems so disjointed all of a sudden. Sometimes it can feel as though everything has fallen apart, but that's because we are straddling worlds. We're wandering between realms, and please don't let that scare you. I have the feeling that some of you here are on the verge of an actual spiritual awakening, if you haven't already gone through one, or a different kind of awakening, a different kind of spiritual experience. Nothing to be afraid of that I can see. It actually looks really positive that I can see, but it's like you vowed that things would go a certain way, or things would be this way for you, and suddenly it wasn't that way anymore, and now you aren't really sure what to do, and then one day you just woke up and everything was different, and the world was caving in, and you were getting hit left, right, and center with anything and everything imaginable, and wondering how the hell you're still standing. And that's because when you are shifting to a different state, a different person, because you've done the work, because you've gone through it, you awaken within you the essence of your own divinity, the angelic nature of who you are is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Earth Angel. And this was always going to be, and I know that's the hardest thing to hear. It sucks. Like, let's be real here. If I'm going to sit here and tell you that I can see how much pain you have been in, and say that it was always going to be this way, you know what? It really sucks. Because nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear the things that they went through were always going to happen, because that sucks. It sucks up one way and down the other. It sucks. But it was out of your control. So you don't need to blame yourself. That's why I'm telling you it was always going to happen. And I am seeing 7s and 1s. We've got 52 that reduces to 7. 7 here, 19 that reduces to 10 to 1. And then we've got the 10, which reduces to a 1. This is a very big new beginning on a spiritual level. 7 is a very spiritual number. It's knowledge and wisdom and seeking, but it's the 7 chakras and the 7 bodies, and it is incredibly powerful. This is a very powerful moment that I can see. And there's something within you that has been asleep, that has been slumbering, that has been buried deep within, and you needed to essentially excise everything from your heart. And that's what it feels like this big gaping wound in my chest when I tap into your energy. And I have the card Fate. Please don't shoot the messenger, guys. I am quite literally just the messenger here. Please don't shoot the messenger. But it's like you're falling into your fated self, to who you're meant to be. There's nothing wrong, it just feels like it's wrong. It's like you've suddenly aligned with your actual soul contract, and because you've been running and fighting and struggling and battling and trying to keep things together, and things falling apart, and having people betray you and hurt you, and I'm hearing stab you. I don't know if that's literal or metaphorical. I'm really hoping that's metaphorical. But because you've been through all of that, and you're still standing, and you're still who you are, you've shifted yourself into your soul contract to perfect alignment, is what I heard. See, the warrior. That is who you are. That is who you are. And that is something that fate rewards. Fate rewards the people who battle for everyone. Who battle for themselves, who battle for the world, who battle for happiness, but who battle for spirit. And even if you don't work in the spiritual business, even if you don't openly practice anything spiritual, When you sit down and you pray and you believe that your prayer is heard, you are fighting for spirit. You are fighting and sharing your light, because that starts emanating out from the center of you. And I just got chills all over my legs. So keep fighting, because you're in the stage you're supposed to be, and nothing is wrong. You're just feeling your feelings. This is what Spirit wants you to know. Contentment. You can learn to rest in what you already have and already are. Suddenly you remember, I'm right here resting in God. And I know that these cards talk about God, but God in like a grand sense of source, the universe, the divine creator, and then change. Don't scare yourself with the next 40 steps. All you need is that one next action. You can say to love, show me the first step and change me into who can take it. Things are changing for you, and you have been in the dark well long enough. You may be seeing butterflies. Maybe you guys are my pile that feels exactly how I do. Like, can spring be sprung now? And then finally we have calmness. The inner divine is the witness of all, remaining still and quiet, even during intense turbulence. So take a deep breath and then say, quiet my mind, dear Lord, may your peaceful calm take over. And that's what I said. That turbulence, that water, that the waves just crashing over you because everything feels broken and you feel broken. You're not broken. You're just spread thin right now. And it's okay. It's okay to be spread thin, but make sure that you remember that you can take one step forward to changing how you treat yourself when you're in this state. Whether you let yourself feel your emotions and whether you let yourself just be and say, I surrender, please take this from me, or please help me, strengthen me, so that I know my own inner warrior. And watch as that softens and you stop feeling like you've got hard edges to you. It will be okay. It does not feel like it, but you have to believe it. You have to believe it. Sometimes it is our faith and our hope that gets us through in the darkest of moments, and that is all we have in those moments. And so that is what Spirit is really asking you to hold on to. Pile ones, you will get through this. I also want to say thank you so much for being here, for hearing these messages. My heart goes out to you all. I just saw 555 on my clock, so it is definitely changing for you, but it is changing for the better. I genuinely believe that. I would not say that if I didn't believe it. I want to say thank you to your higher self, to Spirit, for being here today, to your guides for leading you to my reading. And as always, thank you to you for being who you are and for continuing to move forward in the midst of such troubling times and turbulence in your life. You are a true warrior, and I am honored to read your energy. Thank you. I love you all. If this reading resonated, you can go ahead and like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss my other readings. I love you guys. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the second stone, and all the stones are a rose quartz, but with this second stone, it has lines all the way through it. It's like, I almost think of like wrinkles. You know, women get so worried about age wrinkles and creases and lines and things like that, but it's almost like markers of times where something has folded or something has broken or something has not gone quite the way you expected it to. And the first thing that I heard when I touched the stone was reaching too high. You think that you're reaching too high, you're telling yourself you're reaching too high. Or some of you may not be listening to your higher self. You may not be fully in touch with your heart, and because of that, you feel like you are reaching into thin air or climbing in thin air, like climbing a mountain. You know, the air, the higher up you go, the thinner it is, the harder it is to breathe, and so you have to be more aware of your breathing. It's like you're at the top of the mountain and you can't seem to catch your breath, but you also don't know your way down anymore. You've gone here and now you don't know how to get back. You don't know how to move forward. And it's like your heart chakra feels frozen in time. And that was the other thing I was seeing with the lines is, you know, they look like they're, you know, on a timeline. And it's like your heart is frozen in a specific time, stuck on something and not able to get out of it. And it's left you feeling like you were just plopped on top of a mountain with thin air and you can't catch your breath. So we're going to take a look at these two cards. This is the As Above, So Below Book of Shadows Tarot. This is the As Above, and this is what Spirit and your higher self want you to be aware of, want you to know. And this is the So Below. This is either ways that you can work through it, or things that you've been doing that have give me just a minute. This is something that you don't see would be healing, because you don't know what it is that needs to be healed. I'm assuming that's going to make sense to somebody. I don't know what that means, but let's take a look at the cards and see. So the first one we have is the card 18 and Samhain. And Samhain is the pagan and Celtic holiday of Halloween. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. Okay. So in traditional tarot, this is the Moon card. But Samhain is the end. It's the end of the cycle. It's the thinning of the veil. It's the transition from the end of harvest into the darkening of the light. And when the sun god dies, and it's all very mythological, but it all is about how we move into darkness for a portion of the year, and we don't know how to handle that darkness all the time. And during Samhain, the veil between the living and the dead, between spirit and us, thins and we can hear that more clearly. And even though it's not the right time of year, it's kind of like you've lost sight of how thin the veil actually is between you and spirit. How connected you really are to yourself, to your gifts, to the higher. Some of you may be mediums. I'm sorry. Some of you may be mediums. That just came in. My ears are ringing like crazy. And there's, are you guys having a lot of downloads? I want to take a look at this card just a little closer. So she is actually pulling tarot cards and scrying with a crystal ball, and there's a black cat. And you can see these wisps like horsemen, and it's all very ominous. But she's sitting there and she's on her knees and her eyes are closed and she's holding her head up like to the moon, and all I can see is just this purity of trust. So what I'm really getting here is like, can you put down all the worries, put down the ticker sheet, the tally system. Put down the past, let it be, let it die. It's time to let it die. It's time to walk away from it. And what you don't realize is one of the best ways that you can shift and get reconnected with your heart is embracing something that you may be fighting against. I don't know why I get this sense, but it's like I don't want to cook. I don't want to do that. But we live in a day and an age where it's very easy to eat out, and I'm guilty of this myself because there are days where I am so exhausted from work and energy and 4 kids and 3 dogs and 3 cats and a husband who works all sorts of crazy hours, and it gets very tiring. But sometimes when things are in a transition period, when they're in a phase of death and rebirth, and you just can't see your way forward, or you can't understand what it is that you can't see, or you're starting to see things that make you feel crazy or hear things that make you feel crazy, it's time to get back to your root, to your roots. I'm seeing these potatoes and I keep hearing root, the root, the root. Go to the root. You have all these ticker marks. You have all these marks in time that you look at, but you need to go to the root, because it's the root that will illuminate what's in the heart. And sometimes going to the root doesn't mean digging deep into your root chakra. It means doing something that is familiar to your beginnings in this world, to your upbringing, to who you are now. For me, I'm a mom, so I work at home, and I spent a lot of years being very, very sick, and so that was my job, was a mom. My job was a housewife. I kept my house clean and I cooked. And once I started doing all of this and working at home, that part got really exhausting. But there are days where I don't want to throw a meal in the crock pot, or where I am like, I just need to be in the kitchen, because it's a way of getting in touch with your heart. And in a way, whenever you cook, no matter what you're doing, whether you're mixing herbs and cooking and practicing witchcraft, or whether you are infusing everything that you do with the love that you have for what you're doing in that exact moment, with the intention of just having a home cooked meal and sitting down with your family, you are weaving magic. and you are healing your heart by just being. By just being. Some of you may want to make chocolate chip cookies or brownies. This is strange. If there is someone here whose grandmother passed away within the last year and you have her brownie recipe, she would really like you to make brownies with her. She would really like to be there and have you trust that she is there with you, because there is something within that would be deeply, deeply healing for you. I don't know who needs to hear that, but that was an energy that came through very strong. She's quite a sweet old lady. She just told me never to call her old. So I I like her. I like her. I am sorry for your loss. There are gifts awakening within you, and sometimes you just need to get back in touch with who you are. And your heart is calling you to get more grounded, to I just heard be regular. You are already spectacular. So now just be regular. Just be you. Spirit, can we get any other messages from the tarot for pile 2? I really feel as though your heart chakra, it's a confidence thing. And normally I would say that's the solar plexus, but it's a confidence thing. It's because you need to find balance. It's about finding balance between the higher realms and being here on earth. It's about balancing being grounded and being a channel or a medium or a psychic or anything like that. It's about balance, balancing the two, feeding your soul while also feeding your body. And we've got the Page of Pentacles. I giggle because if you look, that's literally what she's doing. She is balancing. In this deck, the Page of Pentacles is arguably the #1 card for balance, because she's standing there in the woods on one foot doing what I believe is tree pose. You know, I was going to look this up the last time I pulled this card, but she's balancing it. It's balancing the spiritual with the material. It's balancing the everyday moments with the extraordinary, out of this world revelations. It's balancing one side of who you are with the other and trusting that you are meant to be both sides. It's all about balance. And then we've got the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is like literally, she's sitting there waiting for a wave to come in. She's waiting for her wave to come in. Whatever wave you're waiting for, you don't need to wait for that. Go out, go swimming, get grounded, get in the water. If some of you live by the ocean is calling, sweetie. That's what I just heard. It is calling to you. Some of you may be taking a vacation. Some of you may want to go to Hawaii. If you do, send me a postcard, because jealous. It's still snowy where I live. You know, I love your heart chakra. Touching into it, your heart chakra kind of is a badass. You just need to be more confident and not... It's okay to be normal every once in a while. You don't have to be extraordinary every second of the day, because you already are inherently extraordinary. And that's just a message that keeps coming through. It's okay to just take a break. We have 43, overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. This to me is like your gifts, and your heart chakra is like, it's like you think that you set a bar that's too high, and you really didn't. You didn't, because your wave is coming in. And then we have card 44, Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life. Like I said, you guys need a confidence. You just needed a confidence boost today from your heart. And then we have number 6, Watchers, transpersonal. So this Watchers card, it's like at this point in your journey, you understand that you have transpersonal karma. You understand, you guys are my like advanced spiritual pile. I can feel it, because it almost feels like you're like, I wonder what she's going to say. Almost like you don't think that I'd be able to read your energy, which, FYI, I've been there. I've been that person. But there is something that you're holding back on. And it's because you're worried about this transpersonal karma. For any of you who are watching this and this doesn't resonate, number 1, this may not be your pile, because this is very, very specific. But I will still explain. Transpersonal karma is when you have karmic ties to other people. And those people may or may not be in your family. You may or may not know them. They may come in randomly. I discovered that I had transpersonal karma with people that I had never met in person. I just met them on the internet, and it was hard. It was difficult. It was difficult. It was a difficult situation. Transpersonal karma is never an easy thing. But when you rise above it, then you're able to see that you can literally step directly into life, because everything, all of the situations and all of the circumstances are exactly poised and perfect for you to do so. And your overflow of your heart is literally calling to you to just live. Just live your life. Go live, and stop watching other people do it. Stop watching other people live, because you're afraid of the same transpersonal situation that you have likely been through in the past, and you just don't want to deal with it. Some of you may have had a relationship that was a karmic relationship. If that's the case, I feel you. I've been there. It's no fun when you fall in love with somebody that you have like a karmic tie with. Spirit speaks. It is time for you to reclaim your power, to reclaim the truth of who you are, to reclaim your life, your courage, your will to live, to reclaim all of the energy that got attached to whatever situation it was that made you feel knocked down, that made you feel off balance and off kilter, and as though you aren't extraordinary in reality, and therefore afraid to be ordinary. All right, we've got 2 more. We have Dare to Dream. And in Dare to Dream, there's a claw, and I can't remember which animal it is. It actually looks like a dragon to me, but in the claw is a diamond. And I believe it was Henry Kissinger said, when you push, or when you put enough pressure on a lump of coal, it will turn into a diamond, which is scientifically inaccurate. But the point here is the diamond and the coal is like doing shadow work. It's what happens when you get through the shadow work, because coal is formed by pressure in the surface. So coal is higher in the Earth's crust, or under the surface of the Earth. It's higher up in the hierarchy or mantle or whatever. I can't think of the word right now. But beneath that, as more and more pressure is exerted, a diamond is forming. It's not forming from coal. It's just forming from the pressure and from carbon, and that's how they are formed. But this is really reminiscent, or it's symbolic of doing shadow work and what happens when you go through these situations. You discover the diamond that is within you, the gifts that are within you, the abilities, the strength, the resilience that's within you. And when you do that, you are the one that grasps this diamond, and Spirit really wants you to know that your heart is ready. Your heart is ready. Your mind isn't on board, and your heart is saying, "Hey, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. I am ready. I don't want to watch my life pass me by. I want to live my life. I want to reclaim my life, and I can, but you have to get on board." So let yourself dream, because you know what? You're the weaver. You weave your life. You weave the threads of your own fate, the threads of your destiny, the threads of what you want to create and who you want to be and how you want to be in this world. You are the weaver. So weave it, and do it with 100% certainty that you know what you're doing, you know your truth, and you know that it's the right thing for you. And you know what? It isn't easy for me to say all of this. I keep getting this feeling. You guys may be a regular viewer who doubts a lot that I do truly understand, but I keep getting this feeling of you wouldn't have any idea what you're talking about if you knew. I do know. I do know. I do. We have empowerment. When you ask the divine to take over, you get pulled into your own authentic power. It's a force of inner love that wants your wholeness and magnificence. Unfold my true and radiant self, dear Lord. Holy crap. Guys, like, if you guys needed an ego boost here, not an ego boost, like your heart needed a boost. What did I say? I said that some of you may want to go to Hawaii, didn't I? It's this pile. Yeah. Okay. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. We've got travel. Let every aspect of this trip unfold in harmony. May divine order arrange and handle every detail. I'll be guided easily and follow the leads as they are shown. Some of you want to genuinely travel. Go travel. Go. I literally, like, Spirit is speaking here. Spaciousness. What do I no longer need? Help me, God, to release whatever people, places, or things drain my vital essence. Show me what will fill me with enthusiasm and joy. This. Okay, this is that transpersonal thing. When you get into a transpersonal karmic relationship, whether it's a friendship or a partnership or anything like that, it is so damn difficult to say, okay, I have to release this person from my life because you genuinely care, because you genuinely love them, because you genuinely thought that they were meant to be in your life. It's not easy. It's not easy. I had to do that with a friend recently because I realized it wasn't healthy for me. It was draining me. It was paining me. It was making me sick and making me sad. And it was like torture from loving someone with my physical and emotional body. And I had to walk away. And it was so difficult. I'm still healing from it, and it's been months. But Spirit comes in and says, okay, let me show you so you can be your best version of yourself, so I can help fill you up. Clear your space out so I can fill you up. And sometimes clearing our space is really hard when we don't feel like we are empowered. Your heart and spirit are saying right here, right now, it's okay to clear the clutter. It's okay to break away from the things and the people and the situations and the thoughts and all of it. It's okay to walk away from those things that are not reflective of who you really are anymore. Yes, it may hurt your heart, but there is a time for everything, and everything dies, and we cannot be afraid of death. Because death brings us home. In the physical sense, death brings us home. But in a spiritual, metaphorical sense, death means that we are going to be reborn into our higher versions of ourselves, our better version of ourselves. So you have to be willing to make the space for the you that wants to come in, the you that wants to become. We have work. I'm now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. May all who need me find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will provide. And finally, I had to say this in pile 1, but I know I need to say this to you guys. Do not shoot the messenger, please. I am just a messenger. Divine timing. I swear I can almost hear you groaning. The divine brings things in the timing that we need. Nothing comes before we're prepared, nor leaves too early. May I always trust your perfect and holy timing, dear Lord. Okay, let me tell you something about divine timing. Number 1, hate that phrasing. Hate that concept. So that, like, I'm with you. I get it. But what I think of is the energy relay delay is what I call it. It's a boomerang effect. You have to trust that the boomerang is going to come back, but that it has to travel as far as it's going to travel. Back in January, I think it was, December, January, there was a comet that passed by the Earth, and it was Comet Leonard. And I tapped into the energy of it, and it felt so familiar to me. This comet had traveled through the solar system for 80,000 years. It had been all over the solar system, so it had not passed by Earth for 80,000 years, and then it was coming back. But scientists showed that the trajectory of the comet was actually going to take it back out into space on a completely different orbit. And I had this affinity with space that I am learning. It's a gift, I think. I don't know. But I'm able to almost feel the humanity within space, I guess is what I would call it. But I was journaling and I was thinking about this comet and thinking about how scary it must be. Personification, that's what I was doing. Sorry. Sometimes my brain just, when the messages are coming in strong. But I was personifying. I'm a writer. Personification is fun sometimes. But I kept thinking, this comet is going on a fool's journey. And during that time, there was so much chaos and turmoil. It was like there were so many people that were like, it's time to have a new beginning, and you're very scared. And there was a lot of fear running through and a lot of uncertainty and this sense of being unsure kind of running rampant everywhere. And I got this feeling that a lot of it was the impact of this one comet passing by that nobody really gave any thought to, because, I mean, it was here for 80,000 years. It passed by for about a month, and then it was gone. But it's been in the solar system. This is its home. It's been here for 80,000 years. Can you imagine 80,000 years, and now you have to walk away from it? Now it's time. Now Spirit says, hey, it's time for you to go on a new adventure. That is terrifying. Being involved in something for 6 months and then having to walk away for us is terrifying, because we put our time in and we put our effort in. The reason why I talk to you about this is because that comet is very, very symbolic of the energy relay delay. Not that it's going to take 80,000 years. Don't worry. I mean, if you live that long, let me know. That would be really cool. I'd love to know how time travel works. But When you throw out an intention, like a genuine intention from your heart, you're throwing it. It's like throwing a boomerang. I don't like to say you're throwing out intentions because it sounds actually kind of frivolous. But when you put out an intention from the core of your being, from your heart, you throw it out like a boomerang. That boomerang has to travel through, and it literally has to travel through space. It's got to go out to spirit. It's got to hit your guides. It's got to hit your, if you are a starseed or believe in starseeds, it's got to go through the galactic area. All of it. It's got to go through there because there are so many things that have to get on board and have to align and have to get right for your intention to come in. And so the bigger the intention, the longer the energy relay delay is. The more that you focus on the boomerang coming back to you, the slower it's going to come back because you're creating resistance against it. That's why you're having this issue with not feeling in your power, because you think that your intentions are failing, and I don't think they are. I cannot tell you definitively because everyone is different and every situation is different, and I will not make false promises, but I have a very strong feeling that, like, I'm hearing, hey dude, why do you sell yourself short so much? Like, what you doing? I don't know why I had that voice. I don't do accents, so that was weird. But that's what I'm sensing is like, stop and see yourself for who you are, and understand that when you stand in who you are and you do what you're meant to do and you go for it, just go for it. Because you're covered. You are absolutely covered. So just keep doing the work. Like whatever it is that you are working on, whatever it is that you're trying to heal here, your heart is in it. Your heart is on board. Your heart may feel like it's waiting, or your brain may feel like it's waiting, but your heart is balanced and ready for this. Your heart is in its power. Your heart knows your gifts and knows your truth and knows that you're doing the right thing. So listen to your heart and trust in the timing, because it will come. You just have to trust and keep going. Don't give up, because what you do for others, it matters. It matters so much. It matters so damn much. So please don't stop. Please don't give up. I did not see this reading going this way at all. You guys are polar opposites to pile one. Wow. I want to know you. I want to know who you are and what you're doing. And man, your energy is freaking awesome. I'm going to tell you this. I have heard many times how great I am at reading energy. This is not like shameless self-promotion, but man, touching your energy and feeling this, like, you guys need to be motivational speakers. You need to be out here empowering people. You need to empower yourself, because your empowerment literally is like, it spreads. It's like, I don't even know. It's like laughing gas. Or like, in Hollywood when somebody starts laughing and then you just can't stop. That's literally what it is. It's awesome. It's so upbeat. It's so uplifting. You guys are amazing. You're amazing. But remember that it's okay to just take a break. To take a break, take a breather, and do the normal thing. This went way longer than I thought it was going to go. But you guys are awesome. I really hope you guys all stayed till the end, because this was like a bomb reading, and I don't say those words. What is going on? What the heck? Okay, I'm not really sure. But you know what? You guys are great. Thank you so much for your energy, for how amazing you are. And thank you, Spirit, and your higher selves for bringing forth these messages and for letting me be the channel for it, because this is awesome. I had so much fun. So thank you, guys. If this video resonated, please hit that like button. Go ahead and share it out. Share it with some friends. Be like, hey, look how awesome I am. No. I mean, you can. That would be funny. And And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell up in the corner. You guys are so great. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I will see you on my next one. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the 3rd rose quartz stone, you chose the one that it's almost flat. As I was preparing for your pile, I was actually seeing a scene from a movie, and I just kind of groaned, and then I had this sharp pain in my heart and this sick, dizzy, overwhelmed feeling in my chest. And I was seeing this scene from Austin Powers, the first movie. And I don't know if you've ever seen it before. I think it was made in like 1999. But Austin Powers is standing there, and there is a flattening truck. I don't know what it's called. And he's holding his hand out and he's screaming, "No, stop." And the guy can move. Like, he can move out of the way. He sees it coming. He knows it's going to come. I apologize for the noise, guys. My dog is a bit of a bully to the cats, and she just came down. But where was I? Austin Powers. So the guy is standing there, and he's screaming, "No, stop." And he sees it coming at him. And they're yelling at him to get out of the way, get out of the way. But he doesn't. And he gets run over. And, of course it's a comedy. So it's supposed to be funny. But as soon as I touched your stone, it's like you feel flattened. Like life has just laid you out, has just flattened you. And that's how your heart feels. It's this sharp pain and then dull. And it's almost as if you feel like life has lost its luster, it's lost its light, and you're here as a last-ditch effort. And I'm here to tell you, it was coming, and you saw it, but you weren't going to be able to get out of the way regardless, because when the heart is in something, and you can't stop moments when your heart gets committed of your heart getting hurt, because that is how we grow. That is how we evolve. And it sucks. And that, I don't mean to be blasé about it, but it does. It's a terrible thing. But you won't be down forever. And this won't last forever. And it won't hurt this bad forever. And not everything is lost, even if it feels like it. And you aren't lost, even if it feels like it. So the first card we have here is from Spirit, and it's a higher perspective about what's going on with your heart chakra. And this second card is what your mind is telling you, is what I'm feeling. And I am going to be right back. I'm going to put my dog upstairs. Give me just a moment, guys. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that, guys. If I don't have her go upstairs, she will sit and try and eat my cats. She's still a puppy, and, well, we call her Dorsey because she's a dog, but she's like a horse. She's a German Shepherd Alaskan Malamute and St. Bernard mix. And she's less than a year old, and she is taller than my coffee table. And yeah, her paws are still too big. She's still not very smart, and she thinks that cats are toys. But I digress. Let's get into your cards. I think you guys just needed to hear something cheerful. That, or you may be my dog lovers. If you are, you want a dum-dum? I'm just kidding. We couldn't part with her. So the first one we have is the Elemental of Earth, or the Page of Earth, the Page of Pentacles. And then we have the Knave of Wands, or I believe the Knave is the Page of Wands. Okay. Number one, that song that you have stuck in your head, that's stuck in your head for a reason. Some of you may be hearing ringing in your ears. Some of you may be hearing music. So don't panic about that. I don't panic about that. For instance, say you turn on a fan and all of a sudden you're hearing like a 50s band playing swing music or something. I'm kind of pulling this out of thin air, guys. Well, Spirit's helping, but my translator is struggling with it. But in those moments, pay attention to what you're hearing, because there's a message in there, and it's just the white noise helps dull out everything else. And it actually is a frequency thing where it helps the sound come in. Also, some of you may feel more called to crystals, but what I'm seeing here, the biggest message I'm seeing here is you have a crown chakra that is trying to be opened. Have you been in a dark night of the soul? If you have, twinning, Pisces season has been kicking my butt. But what I'm seeing here, and especially with this beam and it being night, the full moon is a good time for you to really get connected to spirit. Because I think what you'll find with that is you'll find a lot more illumination of why you've been in the dark, or why you haven't been able to find your way out of the dark. And when you do that, you're going to find your inspiration again. You're going to find that spark of life within yourself. It's almost, I look at her and it's like she has all of these things crawling on her, all of these fire salamanders crawling on her, and my nose is itching now. It's weird. But they're all crawling all over her. And you can see here, she's been bit on her finger. And she's staring at her finger and in pain. And that, it's that sting of what isn't there, what was lost, or what you're trying to get to, and it bit you. Like, whatever it is, it bit you. And now you're staring at the pain. Your mind is focusing on the pain. It's not focusing on the prospect of new life or new light coming in. It's not listening to the sound of your soul or the song of your soul. It's not hearing spirit clearly, because you're focusing on the pain. Your heart is saying, please pull yourself out of this, because there is more for you. And spirit is calling to you to come out of that painful place, because when you do, you weave magic and you start living your life by the song of your soul. And nobody knows what that song sounds like except for you and spirit. It's not something that anybody can explain to you, and it's not something that you're going to find in a book or online or in a reading or anything like that. I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you that you'll be able to sing the song of your soul, but I don't know what it's going to sound like. I feel like it's going to be beautiful. But you can get yourself out of this. On a purely physical level, maybe listening to some sort of upbeat music or calming music. I'm very partial to Celtic instrumental music, but I'm really weird like that. Maybe cello or hip hop. Those are really different Wow, that just came through. Okay, maybe hip hop. Maybe that's what you need to pump yourself up. Mariah Carey. My husband loves Mariah Carey. He's weird. Not that I'm saying Mariah Carey is bad, but he'll go on a tangent or on a Mariah Carey kick for a while. So will one of his coworkers. I don't really know why that came through. Is it maybe that it's something in your relationship or something feels off kilter with that? Are you, oh, I just heard associate. Are you associating past pains with current situations? Oh, I just got a sick feeling in my stomach and my, like, you know when you're going on a roller coaster and they say my heart just dropped into my stomach? Yeah, that's how I felt when I said that. I have the feeling I'm not the only person who said this to you. I'm not the only person who suggested it to you, but you don't know how to stop doing it. It's like, yeah, I know I do this, but how do I stop? How you stop is by stop focusing on the pain and let yourself understand and trust and embody this. That's integration. Integration is trusting, but then it's embodying the truth of this happened for a reason, but it doesn't mean it has to keep happening. You don't need to stay flattened and run over and annihilated. You just don't. Okay. Those came out quick. We have the 9 of Pentacles. You guys got extra cards. The 4 of Cups. The Ace of Swords and the 2 of Wands. Okay. So, whatever it was that happened, it was nothing small. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why I know that. I know it was nothing small because I will always say the 4 of Cups is the saddest card in the tarot deck. To me, it's the card of I don't have the will to even look at what the universe is offering to me because I have put all my work and all of my energy over here. Sorry. And this is who I thought I would be. This is what I thought I would get. I thought I would be this 9 of Pentacles. I thought I was going to feel peace and joy and happiness. And then everything that I made or built or tried or every love that I had or every situation I found myself in hurt and fell apart and spilled. And I don't have it in me to even look anymore at what is being offered because I don't want it taken away. I don't want to get burnt. I don't want to get bit. I don't want to lose it again. And what Spirit wants you to know is it's time for you to change that thought process because I'm offering you this cup. I'm offering you this blessing, this gift, this offering that is right for you, that is not going to hurt you, that is not going to bite you, but you have to believe it and you have to allow yourself to change the way that you think about it and the way that you think about yourself and the way that you think about Spirit and your relationship with Spirit and what Spirit is here to do, what the universe is here to do with you. You have to work at changing those thoughts because if those thoughts continue, you do stay in that same cycle. You stay in that pain. But if you can change that, then you can clear your head out. And then it won't hurt to look at the cup because you'll get excited. You'll get excited like, show me, show me. I want to see what it is that's right for me. I want to see what it is that is going to fill me up. But you have to change your thought process and work on filling your own cup up. Because that's what Spirit wants you to see. You have the capability of filling your own cup up. And when you do that, we're going to give you this. We're going to give you this cup. We're going to give you these blessings. Look at all the magic flowing into this cup. Don't think for a second that Spirit doesn't understand your hesitance. Don't think for a second that if you don't take the cup that you'll be punished, or that there will be some sort of retaliation in a painful way, or that you'll never be this Nine of Pentacles. You'll never be successful. You'll never be independent. You'll never know peace. That's just not the case. It's time for you to stop planning your future and start living your now. Because right here, right now, the world is beckoning to you to experience it, to let yourself stop looking at the pain and start looking at the joy and the possibilities and the inspirations that are flowing everywhere, all around you, all the time. That is getting lost in the right direction. Even at times where it feels like, I don't know what I'm doing. I am not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. What is going on? For some reason, this bottom card wants to come out, and I didn't pull the bottom card on any of the decks in the piles, but the Knight of Wands, the literal card of inspiration in this deck. Look how happy she is. She is beating her own drum. She knows that she can create whatever she wants. She knows that she is a walking embodiment of inspiration. You guys may be fire signs. There's a lot of wand energy here. Actually, it's kind of almost equaled out. But I just feel this fire energy. It's almost like you have lost touch with your inner fire. Okay. We're doing it backwards. Spirit wants to give you guys a message. Spirit, what do you have to say for pile 3? Okay. Wow, quite a few. No. Okay. They don't want to do back of the deck, but we have doubt. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises, but you can say, free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. And this is absolutely true. I have had these moments before as well. Maybe you guys want to get some daisies. Daisies are so... Of course, you can find them out in the wild, depending on where you live and whatnot, because where I live, it's not quite even close to springing. But daisies make me think of those youthful mornings as a kid where you'd go out walking and you'd find a daisy just kind of growing out of wherever because the seeds scattered so far. What if a daisy believed that its seeds were not meant to float on the wind? What if a daisy doubted its ability to spread its seeds? And then we lost daisies. When you doubt your ability, the world loses. They lose out on the chance to experience you, to experience your inspiration, to experience who you are and what you can do. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to have its difficulties. Everything does. And it hurts. And it is hard to get through, and it's hard to see beyond it. But just as you deserve everything that you want, the world really, really needs people like you. And maybe it seems to you like the world doesn't deserve you. And maybe some people in the world don't right now. But don't let that stop you. Don't let that dim your light, as they like to say. Don't let that hold you back and keep you from living you. We have abundance. Divine beloved, please show me how to feel fully deserving to receive. I release my ego's plan and open to being a vehicle for abundance. This is that 4 of Cups, that your ego's plan. And I'm not going to go with what the card says and say that was all of the things that you were working on came directly from your ego, because I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe anything anybody creates ever is 100% ego, because I don't think it would go anywhere. There has to be some level of heart for it to really connect with anybody. And I guarantee you, whatever it was that you lost, whatever it was that you did, it connected to somebody, which means that it just wasn't right for you, even if it felt like it. And putting trust in the divine, it's so damn difficult. It's so hard when you have been through that level of pain and anguish. And we have impatience. My life is unfolding in divine timing. All delays are beneficial. I'm always at the right place at the right time. I got to tell you guys, this impatience card actually sounds like a slapdown from spirit from me, because I filmed yesterday and I had every intention of getting my video posted today that I had filmed yesterday, and my technology has been just chaos. I don't even know when I'm going to be able to get this video out right now. And I'm getting frustrated, and I feel like I'm slowed down and on pause all the time. And it's not even Mercury retrograde right now at the time of my filming. So I feel this like irritation and frustration with this card. I can feel that from the energy of the piles. So in your energy, but I can tell you definitively, I 100% understand, because this is so hard. It's so hard. We have courage. And again, more daisies. Maybe look up the meaning of daisies. I don't remember. I know that yellow daisies are happiness and joy, I believe. But look up the meaning of daisies, just the spiritual meaning. I think you might find something there. It says courage. Divine courage is not the absence of fear, but a nudge that says, keep going, do it, don't worry, all will be well. You have to get quiet enough to hear it. Dear divine, may I feel your courage and your will. And then I have two more. This is why I said, like, obviously this deck really needed to talk to you guys. There's a lot going on here. Challenges. Unbearable situations throw you directly into God's arms if you are open. Please take over, divine, and guide the right actions. Please take this burden and show me your will. And finally, we have health. Allow me, divine, to be tender and accepting of my body no matter what ailments I may have. May I always know it's doing the best that it can. Help me be a loving ally and friend to this sacred form. Oh, my pile threes. I'm not even going to use blessing in disguise. I'm not like... What I am going to tell you is that I'm picking up that somebody may be sick. I don't know if it's you or someone you love, and you're pissed and scared and worried and weighed down. I feel that's like one of you, two of you. Two max is what I just heard. You're not being punished. Sometimes you have to get into the thick of it to be able to see your way out of it, or you have to get through it in whatever way you can. And I don't know how that's going to go. I can't tell you definitively, and you know that. You know that, even though you want that, you know that. Nobody can tell you. But I can tell you if you're the one, and I can tell you that I can feel your inner strength. I can feel how amazing you are. And I can feel how resilient you are and how much love and support you have on a spiritual level. But I think you have that in your life too. And it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to work your way through the fears and the worries and the pain and the anguish. It's okay to do that. It's okay. That was a very specific message. For others of you, this is about your work. This is about your life. This is about what it is, what it's doing to your body to be stuck in this impatience and doubt and challenges energy. What it's doing to your health. Can't make this shit up. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the language, but the void. You're in the void space. We're going to talk about that, but there's another card, and I know there's at least one more in here that wants to come out. Yep, there it is. Oh, 2 of them? Yep. Okay. All right. We have the Weaver and the Alchemist. Holy crap. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Actually, it needs to go the other way. No. Nope. I'm just letting the cards talk to me, guys. Give me just 1 minute. Okay. We're going to leave them as is. Some of you, it may, like, the situation may be flip-flopped. It's kind of like I'm feeling a duality energy. So some of you may have done some scripting and some sort of ritual, some sort of manifestation, and you didn't intend on it taking, is what I heard. Like, you didn't even know that they were actually like manifesting. And then you found yourself in the void space and everything kind of started falling down around you and all of these emotions started coming up. And then you went, what am I supposed to do? Because I can't do anything. I can't hear my guides. I can't access my gifts. I can't touch my projects. I can't feel anything. Everything feels bad. And then you started getting sick and things just kind of spiraled out of control. Welcome to the void. And do you know what you do in the void? You stop. You rest. You feel. You cry. You scream and you cry. And then you watch kids' movies or Disney movies or whatever you watched as a teenager or romance movies or whatever you have to do to get reconnected to your emotions. You watch something or you read a book. You listen to music. Something to get you reconnected. And then you let those emotions run through you again and again and again until you feel like you can't cry anymore. Because what you're doing in the void space is you're being the alchemist. You're alchemizing those emotions. You are transmuting them. You are taking them from one state and you are making them your inner strength. Because you have woven a future for yourself that is starting as soon as you alchemize this stuff. And that's why you're where you are. That's why these things are happening. That's why everything feels this way. You cannot see because you're in the void. And the void is for you to surrender. And trust me, I know how hard that is. But it is for you to say, please hold me and love me as I move through this space. Let me get through it. Let me rise above. Let me just be with me. Just help me. Love me through this. And you can say that both to spirit, to your guides, but also to the people in your life. It's okay to do that because the void space is not an easy space to be in, especially if it's your first time. It's intensely uncomfortable. The first time I ended up in the void space without realizing that I had actually manifested something, I wanted to tear my skin off. It was so uncomfortable because I didn't want to feel these emotions. I didn't want to be angry. I didn't want to be frustrated. And I didn't want to keep dealing with the sadness that I had tried to push down and push away. Never did. But it didn't do me any good to not feel those things. Once I felt them, it was like this massive wave of relief. And that was the first time I learned about transmutation and alchemy and all of that. It opened up this inspirational gateway. It's what it does. What else do they need to know, Spirit? There's something more. My pile of threes. I know, because I can feel that whole, like, that cannot be that can't be the only message. Have you gone to pick a cards and walked away going, I didn't learn anything from that? Or how did that help me? If you did, let it marinate. It'll come back. 35, lost compass, getting back to integrity. This whole entire reading, the theme, it's getting lost in the right direction. You're finding your integrity. You're finding your inner worth, your inner balance, your inner alchemist. You're learning that you are the weaver, and you're getting back to your truest nature, and you're letting that shine out and shine forth without apologies, without guilt. That's what I'm hearing. Without guilt. Heart, home, and compassion. And on the back of the deck, which I haven't been using, but apparently I have to use for you guys because we did before, we have a tidy home, clarity, and organization. This is, oh my gosh, you guys will never believe this. What did I say? Many masks, the authentic self. You guys are literally in the void space becoming who you actually are. The tidy house is it's your it's your boon, is what I just heard. A boon is like a peace offering or an offering of love from spirits. And you know, I always find when I get into the void space and I'm in the worst of it, housework piles up. And there's so much cleaning to do, and there's so much overwhelming, like everything is just chaotic. When those times come, when that happens, let it be. Don't bully yourself into doing things if you are not emotionally and physically capable of doing that. Give yourself compassion. Give your heart compassion, and know that you are holding firm to what is right for you, and it's okay to do that. Because what you'll notice is when you start coming out of it, you're going to be able to start cleaning slowly over time. You will be able to start organizing again. And as you do that, all the stuff that you're purging out will start organizing itself. And the things that aren't meant to be there and the mindsets that aren't meant to be there will start fading out and being tossed out. Because you're tidying up your outer area to gain clarity with your inner area. Pile threes. I want to say thank you so much for your energy, for being here, for enduring what you are enduring. It is never easy to get back up when it feels like the world itself has flattened you. But I believe in you so much, and so does Spirit. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your higher self and to Spirit. If this video resonated, please hit the like button, share it out, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the little notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I want to say thank you again so much, and I love you all. Bye!